If you are a single dad, there is a very good chance you are secretly terrified you are messing your kids up. You think the late-night takeout, the guilt-driven presence, or the sheer exhaustion are quietly destroying their future. And you might be right, because after a divorce, most dads try so hard to fix things that they actually end up making them much worse. Today, we are breaking down 5 critical mistakes you need to stop making right. Now, if you want to raise resilient, emotionally healthy kids, and number 4 is a massive trap almost every single father falls into without even realizing it. Let's dive in. 1. Stop playing good cop out of guilt. The guilt after a divorce is heavy. It feels like a physical weight on your chest. Every time you drop your kids off at their mother's house, or every time you walk into an empty apartment. To cope with that suffocating pain, many dads instinctively turn into Disneyland dads. You stop setting boundaries. You let them stay up late, eat whatever they want, and skip chores because you only have them for a limited time each week. And you want them to love being with you. You are terrified of being the bad guy. You are terrified they will prefer their mother's house over yours. Here is the brutal truth. Kids do not need a fun-loving roommate. They need a parent. When you drop all the rules out of guilt, you send a dangerous message to your growing children. You teach them that love means zero accountability and that discomfort can always be avoided. Worse, you create deep psychological anxiety. Rules, structures, and boundaries make children feel safe because they create a predictable environment. Without them, the world feels chaotic, unstable, and terrifying. Stop buying their temporary happiness with low standards. They will respect you much more for consistency, stability, and structure than for endless ice cream and unmonitored screen time. Being a good father means doing what is right for their future, even when it makes them mad at you in the present moment. But letting go of guilt is only the first step. The next mistake happens when you try to shield them from the pain of reality, starting with how you talk about your ex. 2. Stop badmouthing or venting to your ex. Let's be honest with each other. Your ex might be driving you completely insane. Maybe she's difficult, unfair, uncooperative, or doing things with the kids that you completely disagree with. It is almost impossible not to let it slip sometimes. A heavy, dramatic sigh when her name is mentioned. A sarcastic remark muttered under your breath in the kitchen. Complaining to your teenager as if they are your adult roommate or your best friend. Stop doing it immediately. When you criticize your ex in front of your kids, you are criticizing half of your children. Genetically, emotionally, and psychologically, they are made of both of you. When you tear down their mother, they internalize it as a fundamental flaw in themselves. They wonder, if mom is bad and I am half mom, does that mean I am bad too? Even worse is using your kids as emotional confidants. They are your children, not your therapist or your emotional support system. Unloading your adult resentment, legal frustrations, and financial stress onto young, developing shoulders is a form of emotional burden they cannot carry. Protect their right to love their mother, even if you cannot stand the sight of her. Your maturity here dictates their emotional survival. If keeping your mouth shut sounds hard, wait until you hear about number 3, because it involves what you do with your own life when the kids aren't around. 3. Stop neglecting your own life. When the custody schedule splits your family apart, the silence in the house is deafening. The quiet is oppressive, and the loneliness can feel like physical pain. Many single dads handle this shock by collapsing inward. Your entire world shrinks down to 2 things, work and your kids. You stop seeing your friends. You completely abandon your hobbies, your passions, and your creative outlets. You let your physical health slide, trading the gym for takeout boxes and late-night television. You tell yourself with a sense of martyrdom, my kids are my entire life now. Nothing else matters. That sounds noble on the surface, but it is a recipe for absolute disaster. If your children become your entire emotional existence, you place an impossible, crushing burden on their small shoulders. They will feel entirely responsible for your happiness and your emotional stability. They will sense your profound loneliness and feel guilty for having fun, going to parties, or simply growing up and moving on. Furthermore, you are teaching them how to live life by your example. Do you want your kids to grow up and abandon their own identities, dreams, and boundaries for a relationship or a difficult circumstance? Build a vibrant, rich life outside of your kids. Go to the gym, pick up old passions, and date when you are ready. Show them that a broken family doesn't mean a broken man. A full life keeps you grounded. But even with a full life, many dads ruin their connection with their kids in the most subtle way possible. Or stop trading presents for present. This is the ultimate modern trap. You work 80 hours a week to pay for the lawyers, the new apartment, the bills, and the child support. You are grinding yourself into dust to provide. When you finally get your kids back for your custody days, you are physically in the room, but mentally, you are miles and miles away. You are scrolling mindlessly through your phone, checking work emails, responding to texts, or half-watching a game on television while your kid tries to show you a drawing or tell you about their day. Physical presence without emotional engagement is absolute absence. Your kids don't care about the square footage of your new apartment or the brand new shoes you bought them with your hard-earned, overtime money. They don't remember the things you bought. They remember the moments you shared. They remember the nights you looked them dead in the eye and actually listened to what they had to say. Put your phone away in another drawer for 1 solid hour a day. Give them your undivided, fierce attention. 10 minutes of deep, fully present connection beats 4 hours of distracted, half-hearted proximity every single time. Which brings us to the final mistake. This one is the hardest to admit, because it hurts your masculine pride more than anything else on this list. 5. Stop pretending you have it all together. Society teaches men from the time they are boys to be rocks, unbreakable, stoic, the provider who never cracks under pressure. After a divorce, single dads often double down on this toxic myth. You hide your tears in the dark. You pretend you aren't overwhelmed by the laundry, the cooking, the scheduling, and the heartbreak. You try to fix every broken shelf, every emotional breakdown, and every financial crisis with a stiff upper lip and a fake smile. Stop doing this to yourself when you pretend you never hurt. You teach your children that vulnerability is weakness and that emotional honesty is dangerous. If your kids never see you struggle and never see you gracefully recover from a struggle, how on earth will they learn how to recover when their hearts inevitably get broken later in life? It is okay to let them see you sad. It is okay to look them in the eye and say, "Dad is having a really tough day today, but we are going to get through it together." That isn't weakness. That is strength in its absolute purest form. It teaches them resilience. It teaches them that healing is a messy process and that it is okay to be human. Being a single dad is easily the hardest job in the entire world. You are going to make massive mistakes along the way. You are going to lose your temper sometimes. You are going to fall short of the ideal father you want to be. That doesn't make you a failure. It simply makes you human. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is showing up every day, owning your flaws, and loving your kids fiercely through the chaos of life. Drop a comment below and let me know which of these 5 points hit closest to home for you today. Let's talk about it in the comments. If this video helped you, hit that subscribe button, share it with another dad who might need to hear it, and I will see you in the next one.